Well, welcome back, everyone, to the
Hello.
Engage Your Passion podcast, or we like to say the EYP podcast. I am Tony.
I'm Sarah.
And together we are
Tony and Sarah.
What a crazy time.
Why?
This is episode 12?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
so it's gone by so fast.
Yeah.
It was, I think, just last night, we had someone reach out to us regarding one of our spotlights and saying how much it helped her.
Mm-hmm.
And that was it was an interesting conversation because she was just, kind of, what do you call it? Repeating back everything that happened and what she'd learned. And oh my gosh, I think my kids need to hear this. So I will say again, and we really appreciate the feedback. We really appreciate that what we're trying to do here is having some legs and reaching out to people who are definitely feeling that the information is valuable. We had someone do it for us, and so it's a real privilege to be able to do the back and getting that feedback, not only online but now even in person in some cases. It really warms. It sounds cheesy, but it warms our heart, and we're just glad that it's kind of motivation to keep going. So yeah. Just want to say that
we really enjoy paying it forward. I think we have our own passions, but I think along our journeys, paying it forward has become one of our passions.
Yeah, absolutely.
And helping the next group or really anyone just learn from what we've learned and have our friends and people we know in the business come and,
share their stuff because we're learning too.
Yeah, because everybody goes through it differently. And so being able to get that feedback from everybody is awesome.
Yeah, so it's a special thank you. Yeah. Just kind of want to do. So today, episode 12, we are...
It's your announcer voice.
No, my announcer voice. Yes, it's coming. There we go. So we are basically going to talk about 5 reasons why a powerful personal brand will help you become successful, or we like to say your vision of success. Because the thing about success, everybody has their own vision. You can tell one person, I want to be a star. And when we hear that, we go, okay, what does that mean to you? Mm-hmm. It's everybody's vision of success is different. But we just figured it's a question we get a lot. And so we wanted to give you just some tips, some walk away tangible activities that you can do to start engaging or start creating your personal brand.
Yeah, absolutely. To make you just successful in whatever way you want, creating yourself as a brand, we feel these days is now really important.
It's essential.
Yeah.
So I think this maybe just to kind of back up and just kind of do talk about the being a personal brand. What is that? Mm-hmm. So I recently was on the phone with a model. She was out in San Francisco and she wanted to get into the program. She had an agent and a manager, but wasn't working and stuff like that. And so I was talking to her about what transitioning from an artist, and say in this case, an artist into a brand. And it took a little while for her to see the different perspective. And so let's just say you're a singer or you're a track athlete or a football player. That is now, maybe people know that as for what you do. But as far as your brand, and I think we all see it, but it's just interesting when you look in the mirror, many people don't. Mm-hmm. We're in Houston, so one of the big football players here is J.J. Watt. Mm-hmm. And so I got a notification a couple of days ago, and he's promoting a new shoe with the company. So yeah, everybody knows him as the football player. I think he just got married or something like that, and they follow him, and now he's promoting his products and things of that nature. But he's more than just a football player now. He's an advocate. He has a fundraising organization. So he has many different assets and many different facets is what I think I was trying to say, to who he quote unquote is. If you're listening on podcasts, I'm quoting air quotes, of who he is, and changing that from, with her situation from you are now, you can help people with their makeup and styling and clothing and then still become a model. We'd worked with her when she was in college. when she was doing shows. She's a musical theater. She was in musical theater, so she has this amazing voice. She can, go into the record industry if she wanted, or go back on stage, or just cut, music for kids. There's so many different things, but she's more than just a model, or she's more than just a singer. And basically using the personal brand as your product or service, looking at yourself as a product and service, that may be hard, but maybe looking at yourself as a valuable asset where people can use your offerings, services, experience to better their lives and get them to their vision of success. What do you think? I mean, thoughts on that? Anything you want to add?
No, I mean, I think you have to think like Nike makes more than shoes.
Right.
So we are, we're focused on, for this podcast, it's focused on the entertainment world.
Yeah,
but
entertainment, influencers,
we're
stuff
all
like that.
Have more to us than just that. And that sometimes can make you valuable and provide opportunities even in the entertainment industry, because you have other aspects to you than just, for me, it was, oh, Sarah's a dancer.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm more than just a dancer, and I have more things that I can do and whatnot like that. And so it allows you to have more opportunities.
Yeah. And I think more opportunities to provide a value to more people.
Yeah. And I think that kind of goes into your first topic about when you do become a personal brand, it does make you more attractive to find where those opportunities can start to find you, right?
Right. Yeah. So for instance, we're going to give 5 tips. And so perfect segue. My lovely wife. So the first one is by becoming, or at least thinking and planning to start, I always say start, manage, and grow your brand, because it depends on where you are in your journey. But opportunities find you. That is one of the benefits of thinking and starting as a personal brand. Opportunities find you, and I kind of say you are that magnet. You are attracting people who find you, who find what you have to say, offer, produce valuable. I think last week we talked about skills versus value. Mm-hmm. And this is one thing we're working with a client out of Florida right now. And one of the things she would mention a lot in the first couple of weeks of when we're working with her was, well, I don't have those certifications. I don't have, that type of experience. I don't have, what those people have. And I think it's natural to kind of do that.
Absolutely.
Yet, we said, the team said, well, let's not worry about them. Let's worry what you do have. What is your personal experience? And the great thing is, because of her background and because of who she is, she has a very unique perspective in her industry. Nonetheless, 23 weeks later, it takes a while, it takes patience, but she is getting more attention, more bookings, more invitations to write blogs than ever before. And just 22 weeks from, oh my gosh, am I ever going to be able to do this, to, oh my gosh, am I going to be able to handle this, which is always great. Yeah. And the cool thing is, I don't know what I'm supposed to say, but it's been so great for her that she'll be coming in season 2. So she'll be coming on in the spotlight in season 2. But with that, she was able to put herself out there, and because of her unique perspective. And interestingly enough, because of what happened with COVID, that perspective was just expanded for her. And now it's more, okay, how do I, nobody's knocking on the door, but now it's, oh my gosh, how do I handle all this attention? Yeah. And so I think just having those opportunities, finding you, with you just being yourself and just providing, your value. I don't know, your thoughts.
Yeah. I think that if you can be consistent on your personal brand, which is just presenting yourself, really, people will find you, people will be more attracted to you, and you kind of find the opportunities you don't have to go looking for them so much as like I remember when we were starting and I was working on my social media and I was consistent and I was putting my voice out there, that all of a sudden one day I got an email or I got a message and people are wanting me to help promote their brands. And I remember the first one going, they want me? And then they just kept coming. Now you do have to be careful these days through social media. Some people actually use it as a scheme for you to have to like go follow, like they'll use that.
It's a marketing
thing. But if you do it correctly, and then you have to vet everybody that you will promote and whatnot through your standards, but you will start gaining the attraction of that stuff.
Yeah. So, I mean, tip one, opportunities will find you. And we were just talking pre-roll with Abby and AJ.
I don't think we've introduced them to Abby.
Oh, yet. Well, we'll introduce you to Abby. She's our ops manager, and we're excited to have her, and she's here. But one of the things we were talking just pre-roll before we started taping was mental health and mental perspective, meaning a lot of people, they get in their, and I think everybody knows this, they get in their own way. So just having that mental perspective of, of the client who's like, I don't have that certification. I don't have that type of experience. It's like, what do you have that makes you unique? That is, because everyone is unique, and what can you bring? What is your perspective? So don't ever, well, I can't say don't ever, but try not to get in your own way and to a point where I'm not worthy. Like even with, when you were saying, when all those companies were reaching out to you on Instagram, hey, would you represent our brand and all that? And I think your first response was, me? Really? Mm-hmm. It's like, yes. Have you met you? So.
Well, and sometimes the things that you are most insecure about, I remember it was a while, I was like, I'm a grown up. I'm not supposed to like Disney. But do you know how many adults love Disney?
Yeah.
And they love going there. And when I was less afraid to put that out there, I started to find the people who love it too,
like your tribe.
Yeah, my little tribe.
Yeah.
And so, there are people out there that are like you that will find you. So don't
want to find you.
Yeah. And they're looking for you.
Exactly. You'd be surprised on all the, the niches out there that, that everybody wants to belong, and especially in the more niche you are, the more special, I like to say special you are, you'll find those people, and then back to putting that and basically creating a brand for yourself will help people find you.
Yeah.
Once you do. Yes.
I mean, the next thing is the networking aspect. If you can, especially through that social or that online presence, especially right now,
right? Yeah.
The networking through social media is crazy. Now, there's so many things. I think I overheard something you were listening to that is social media is getting a bad rap right now, which it can be really harmful for your
self-esteem,
all of that, but if you use it the right way to create your personal brand and you adjust your notifications and stuff like that, it can be a powerful tool. Because if you cultivate your tribe, as what we were talking about, and you do that, when you start, people will promote you and you get more eyes and it becomes a networking thing, and people will reach out to you and do certain things. And right now, the social is where people are hiring from. If you have a social presence and you have people who are following you, right?
Yeah.
They want that, because you will then hopefully talk about the things you're doing, and it will help their business grow.
Yeah. And I think with the networking as well, just through the social media, just your typical social media, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, having that presence, people are looking, or they'll find you, or like you were saying, they'll promote you, you promote them. And then it just builds, that builds that tribe and builds that community. But having a brand that is present, having a place to go, and and this is just our opinion. It's great to have a Facebook. It's great to have an Instagram. It's great to have the social media platforms. Having a website that's dedicated to you is also going to be a benefit that we have found. There's more than one way to get to the top of the mountain, but we have found such success when people can say, they can basically have a little conversation with your brand, or a little interaction with your brand through more than just scrolling, but more of, hey, there's an insight about who I am, and this is my story, and having a place where they're, on your site or your website or something like that, where they're not getting pops in and ad pops and all this stuff, where they get to kind of just learn about you, we have found is a huge benefit. And that is part of that networking opportunity. So tip 2, or the reasons why, number 2, is the networking power you get on online space. So 3 would be, it's kind of the flip side of that, the in-person networking power. And obviously right now, we're creating the new normal. I was telling a friend of mine the other day, it's like, I don't know what the new normal is, but I'm ready to get to it. So it's like, okay, whatever it is, let's get to it. But I think the in-person, and when we will get back to this, it's kind of the I guess the story I have is just with what we do, it's not usually the topic of conversation in some of the events that we participate in. We do a lot of corporate events, things of that nature, and we'll have, hey, my name's John. I'm in insurance. That's great. Oh, we're in entertainment. We have our personal brand. Oh, tell me a little bit more. And then instead of having to, by the way, there's nothing wrong with insurance. We all need it. But there's nothing wrong with selling insurance. But being able to say, hey, we have a brand and we do this. The next question is usually, oh, tell me more. And the thing about that is you're not limited to, hey, I'm a singer, or hey, I do cross stitch. Or hey, I write for comic books. This is who I am. Here's my voice. Here's what I believe in. And here's how I push that out there. And you'd be amazed on being able to have that many more topics to talk about in a live in-person space when it's safe to do that, how that cultivates a conversation and cultivates a relationship. And having that presence, oh, I just met this person, Susie. Let me look her up online. And then you have all that, what we call digital proof, to back what you just did. You just have a new connection. You just have, and hopefully maybe a new tribe member.
Yeah, I hated we did not have social media when I was young, and people would always go, "Oh, this is Sarah. She's a dancer." I know I said that earlier, but I was labeled as one thing. And it's when you meet people who are not dancers, one of 2 things come into their mind.
Depending on their background. and depending on where they frequent.
Yes. And then you have to try to have a conversation with people who know nothing about dance.
Well, but that's an opportunity also to kind of let them know about it.
Yeah, but as someone who hates having conversation, is not great at starting conversations. That was something I still work on to these days. But when social media became a thing and I did start working on it, I now have things I can talk about because I feel like I am more of a whole person than I am the one label. Because even if you're engaging in your passion, and let's say you are, a singer, that's not all you do. And sometimes it gets really tiring to talk about.
Yeah, but I think, and I think it's also, because I got the same thing. Oh, well, when I was younger, he's the dancer. He's the choreographer, and you kind of get, I don't want to say stuck, but people have a vision of what they think you are versus what you're trying to tell them, and that's a whole nother thing as far as brand identity versus brand perception. It's like what people think you are trying to do and what you're trying to tell them, and that middle ground is where that's where we come in as far as branding company, kind of bring those 2 together. But I was always told, hey, can you do that? Just do something. I always felt like a monkey.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, do something, kick your face. He's like, okay,
Yes.
And I don't think they meant it rudely. They were just like, something, this is not something I'm around a lot. I have my job
Yeah.
and I just want to kind of and I want to be entertained, and it's just
Oh, you're
something
an
to do.
entertainer.
Oh, yeah.
Entertain me. Now, but I do think, like, as for someone on my end who really did struggle, I was super shy as a kid. Well, and I still can be. Now I've just learned I'm an introvert. That's what we call it now. But becoming a brand has allowed me to find my voice. So when I'm in person talking to people, I feel more comfortable and confident in who I am and talking to people, whether it's networking or explaining something or just starting conversations.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that, and then you back that up with your digital proof, like you said, your website, your social media, and your posting all of that, then, that's when you become kind of more credible.
Yeah, and depending on who, and what credibility people are looking for.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's one thing about the in-person networking is when it comes back, be safe out there. But when it comes back, it allows you to have more of a scope to start conversations, very much when she and I first started, dating and going out, we would go to parties and is everything okay? But
if you're on the podcast, I just made a face.
but at the same time though, she is such more of I guess the thing is that when she's talking, she has that passion about what she believes in and what she's doing, and it's infectious. And I think being able to have create a platform for yourself or even create a voice, brings that confidence to do that. And that's what will happen in those in-person networking opportunities, be it a party, be it an event, be it a conference, be it just, a serendipitous meeting, somewhere in a grocery store. But having that digital proof and basically knowing what you are standing for and what your why is, which we'll get to that, other times, gives you that confidence to be able to kind of basically say what you want to say.
Yeah, at parties, my why was not at the parties, and I would sit there, and if people would not, I have RBF real bad. If you're talking about something I'm like, this is not interesting to me. Yeah. Anyway, I think that so that was tip, or I guess reason number three.
Yeah.
Going into our fourth one, I kind of touched on earlier, is it is easier to hire someone who has kind of put themselves into that package.
Yes.
And this goes for representing products. This goes for getting a job. Even in corporate America these days, that your presence and what you can bring to someone's organization, you scratch your back, I'll scratch mine. Wait, that's not what it is. I said that wrong.
Back, you scratch my
yeah, whatever.
I was gonna let it go. Right? A lot of scratching going on.
But if you can help people promote their business, they are gonna definitely hire you. I think we talked about it. I don't know if it was in Matt Doyle's interview or maybe one of the follow-up interviews with him, but like, we were doing one of our Access Broadway trips, and we were talking to a fellow actor while we were there, and he had just gone to an audition the week before. And one of the very first questions they asked him is, how many followers do you have on social media? And when you can be like, all of these reasons tie together, but when you can create your tribe and create those followers, and then you need work and you've got this, you grow that following, people are going to hire you, because especially if you're in the entertainment business, people do want to be entertained. And if they already want to follow you, then they're going to come buy tickets, whether it's the movie or the play or the concert or whatever. So it just kind of full circle.
Yeah, and a lot of this is, it's a bit more common, but it's interesting how artists don't let me back up. I don't want to generalize. The artists that we tend to find and work with and see all this potential in, that were, I guess, looking in the mirror and seeing themselves as a brand and a value to people, not just as a casting director or a music producer, but seeing themselves as a value to the corporate industry, and other markets, is amazing when they are able to take that perspective change. And so getting hired, I was doing some research, and I can't remember the organizations. It's not the government organization, but it's one like it that tracks. It tracks where hiring managers for corporations, what their activities are to help people find jobs. But they were saying basically, as of this year, first quarter, and I think it's probably gone up since then, 84% of people, corporate hiring managers who are looking to hire people for their organization, 84% of them are looking on social media first before they look anywhere else. So, that is, I'm sure I wouldn't be surprised if it's higher now, but that's the first thing they do. You get a resume, they're going to go look you up. And one of the things too with getting hired, I think we have one of our clients from a long time. She's in New York right now, and she got the job as a dancer with a prominent ballet company in New York. And she started creating her own brand, which then, we did not know you did that. That is the biggest question, or the biggest, I guess, it's kind of the double-edged sword. It's, you didn't know, I've been trying to tell you, but then, hey, they actually found out that that's what you do. And she had been putting herself out there, and it's like, we did not know you could do that. So she then started working in the front office. We did not know you could do that. She started getting hired to model wedding dresses. We didn't know you could do that. Now she's in the company, and when it gets back in her hiatus, she's modeling for wedding dresses. She's working at a wedding shop, and she is still working administration for this nonprofit, all while still in New York during COVID, because she expanded her brand and got her hired because they showed a value that we didn't know that was there. And I think that is a perfect example of an artist who, yes, you may be dancing, and since you can't maybe dance right now or sing or be on a theme park cruise ship, or be in a theme park or on a cruise ship, there are other things that you can find value in with just still being yourself. Yep. And people are out there looking for it. And that's a really good way to get hired, which is why we would say that is tip number 4, to why you want to create a powerful personal brand.
Yeah. I think a lot of it, and you can counter me if you want. I think a lot of people don't find it out till they're trying to be a professional, and then it's almost too late. So I think one of before we wrap up with our last one, is you've got to start now. Even though you might be in high school or college, you've got to start creating and finding those things. And really, like, my tip is, like, what are the 5 things that you love? Like, if you can find your Fab 5,
Disney reference,
then if you can find those 5 things about you, then that's where you start. That's what you talk about, and you can to start creating those things. And like, if you like beauty, then you can get into beauty projects. If you like clothes, you can do that. And then you just start to expand, because like, she was a dancer who got into modeling, which you would think goes hand in hand. I was a dancer, and I do not want to model. Like, so, it just kind of depends on your personality. So would you?
Yeah. No, I think good point. I think only thing I would add to that is, whether you're in high school, college, or already an established artist, just start.
Yeah.
I think that's the key. Just start.
And you can't really do it wrong. You
can make mistakes, but I don't think you do it wrong. Yeah. I think
you learn something.
Yeah, you'll do it your way, and you'll make your mistakes, and hopefully you'll you'll get inspired by others who've made some mistakes like you or ahead of you that you can learn from. And I think the big thing too, that was a big thing for me. Failure are the steps to success. It's not the opposite. And I had to change that mindset, and that was huge for me, but it took a while that this failure or that mistake was actually setting me, or that setback was really a set up for achieving my vision of success. And it's 2020 is so much clearer, but if you can change that perspective, that is definitely one. And so we'll go into the last one, confidence. And I think we mentioned it again. So you just mentioned it earlier. Your confidence, just in social settings, from when you found your voice, I would say, and found what you stood for, what you believed in, worked for you. I was always kind of the outgoing one. I'm a kind of an outgoing introvert. It's like I can talk. I've been in front of thousands of people on stage. I can talk to a lot of people. And I find people interesting. But I think the confidence, not everybody is comfortable in public speaking. Not everybody is comfortable on social media. Not everybody is comfortable in certain situations. Yet, if you are discussing, talking, communicating about things you are passionate about and that you truly value and you want your voice to be heard. And I mean, and it doesn't matter if your voice and your passion is politics or entertainment or marketing, but if you're talking about something you're passionate about, that confidence comes with that sense of knowing your why and pursuing the activities that are going to get you to your vision. And I think the last part, it allows you to engage your passion. I mean, it kind of circles around to the back. It's that confidence, and what we were talking to the crew before, mental health, mental perspective is one of the seeds of success, because, and I'm going to let you say this, because Sarah said this before we started recording, and I asked her to write it down, but I think it's so good. Would you mind saying your?
Yeah, I'm sure that I have heard this somewhere, so I don't believe it's not my quote. But if you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Because whatever you put your mind to, you're going to be able to do it. It goes down to, if you wake up and you think you're going to have a bad day, you're going to have a bad day, because all you're thinking about is, man, today's going to
be a bad day. Yeah.
And so but if you can wake up and adjust your mindset, and, I have big, crazy dreams and goals, and I know we've gotten into it. You just dream about the future, but the thing is, that's what keeps me going, right? And I know I'm gonna get there, and so that's part of my why, and then it helps build my confidence.
Yeah. And we just got to think of, I don't know, said, quote Henry Ford. What?
That quote belongs to Henry Ford.
Oh, it does. Okay,
thanks.
Perfect. Thank you.
See, I knew I heard
I love it. Yes.
There you go.
Thank you.
That was, we call her Ebby because she took my name. Sarah.
So
Sorry.
It's Henry Ford. No, and so I think just kind of wrapping up here, because we want to stay on time, but I think there are some reasons for you to kind of start, manage, or even grow your personal brand. Doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter if you're mom, dad, student, retired. The thing that I realized is it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you are. It matters that you start. Just start. And let's recap. You want to recap?
Yeah. So we have the 5 reasons a powerful personal brand will make you successful. I would like to say will help
make you successful,
because all of our other podcasts kind of talked about also the things like your skills and value and stuff like that. But number 1 is opportunities are going to find you. You're going to create some attraction. Number 2,
networking, online networking power. People will you will attract people who are interested in becoming part of your tribe, and you becoming theirs. You'll find a like interest, and I think the big thing is there's digital proof behind what you have to say.
Yeah. And that leads into number 3. Having that digital proof makes it easier for you to network when you are in person with and having conversations with people. Into our number 4, where it really that turns and helps you get hired.
Yeah, it provides, you are showing them your value, and that is it. That is it in regards to, that is why people get hired. You are going to bring a value to my company. People reach out to Sarah, hey, we love what you believe in and on the fitness that you're doing. We have this clothing line. Would you mind helping us represent this? Or, so they find a value in that. And of course would want to hire you. And especially now with everybody looking for work, why are you going to stand out over someone else? And this will help.
Yeah. And then in turn, I think having that personal brand helps you really find your voice and create the confidence you need. And it's going to go hand in hand into when you're auditioning for things, you're going to have that voice. You're going to have the confidence that you really need to be able to lean in and be successful.
And I think just to tie it back into the podcast, when you have that confidence, you then have what I say, you are then more willing to have the courage to go and engage that passion. Hey, I can do this, then why can't I do that? Hey, I've done that, so let's go and do this. And I think that is where we're passionate, because we've seen it happen over and over and over and over again when you can see what you want and then realize, oh my gosh, I can do it. I can do this. Yeah. And that's really what, why we're doing this and why we're doing, why we started all this. Because when we see the results, it just warms hearts. I know it's cheesy, but it really does. It really does.
All right. Well, I think.
Yeah. So I hope that was, we found some value in that. Please always comment and share the podcast and information that we can find us on Apple, iTunes, Spotify, Amazon just launched, and we are happy to be a part of the Amazon Music family now, and Google Play, and on YouTube. You can find us at adamsdavy.com, which is our media company, and adamsdavy.com/access for our talent development and brand development services.
Find us on social. You can get there from our website as well. And just let us know how you're liking it. Tag us in some stuff. Comment below our recent post. If there's topics you want us to talk about, let us know. If you have anything specific, we've got our season 2 is going to be starting soon. So we've got some great spotlight guests, and it is heading into the fall of 2020, depending on when you're listening to this. So headed into the holiday season. So that should be fun. Got some good stuff.
And we have some master classes coming up with some of our guests who will be giving some feedback. And so lots of information, lots of things going on. It's interesting, with not so much going on, we have a lot of things going on. Yeah. So until next time, I'm Tony.
I'm Sarah.
Until then, engage your passion.